Hi everyone, my name is Dia and today I'm going to be talking to you about viruses, specifically whether or not they are living. Now I'm sure you've been hearing a lot about viruses lately with COVID-19 and how to prevent it, like through social distancing and wearing a mask, but what really is a virus? So today we are going to look at whether or not viruses are living organisms by looking at their living properties and non-living properties. So we're basically going to discuss what defines a living thing in the first place, then look to see if viruses fit within that category. So what really is a virus? Well, the dictionary defines it as an infectious agent of small size and simple composition that can multiply only in living cells of animals, plants, and bacteria. What that basically means is they are infectious, so they can cause illness and diseases, and they are small and simple, so they're not made of many things and they're not as complex as humans or big animals. It also says that it can only multiply in other living cells. Now that means they need some other organism to survive and reproduce in, and that other organism is called a host cell. So in this picture, the sick man would be considered the host, and the virus would be inside of his cells, which would be the virus's host cells. Some common examples of viruses are COVID-19, Ebola, the flu, and chickenpox. So how do viruses attack a host cell? Well, there are spikes on the surface of the virus that latch onto a host cell, like you could see the spikes on this green virus over here. So the virus is able to enter the host cell after it latches onto it, so then the virus's DNA takes control of the host cell and makes the cell reproduce the virus. Then the new replicated virus attaches itself to a new host cell and the cycle continues and the infection grows. So this green virus finds a host cell inside of this guy, and the virus's DNA takes control of the host cell, forcing it to create more viruses. So now that we know what a virus is, let's take a look at what classifies a living thing. These are the characteristics of living things. They can reproduce, respond to the environment, grow and develop, obtain and use energy, like how we eat food or how plants get energy from the sun, maintain homeostasis or balance, like how we maintain the same body temperature, and they are made of one or more cells. And living things should contain all of these characteristics. Now let's take a look at the properties of viruses compared to the properties of living things. So here are some of the living properties of viruses. They contain DNA, which is the code for life. They also evolve and adapt to their environment, like how we need a new flu shot every year because of how quickly it adapts. And they can also reproduce. However, some of their non-living properties include how they need a host cell to survive and reproduce, so they technically can't survive and reproduce on their own. They also don't get and use energy and food. They don't grow, and they're not made of cells. So you're probably thinking, well, if they don't have all of the living properties, they're obviously not living, right? Well, actually, some scientists argue that they are living because they completely take control of the host cell and gain all of the living properties from it, like how the virus doesn't obtain energy, but the host cell does. So the host cell needs to eat food and gain energy to reproduce the virus. Also, the virus itself doesn't grow, but the host cell does, even when it's being controlled by the virus. So what do you think? Some scientists say viruses are non-living and are just infectious particles, while others think they are on the border between living and non-living. Others even suggest they are alive because of what happens inside of the host cell. So what do you think? Are they living or non-living? Here are some more resources if you want to learn more about this topic or need more information before coming to your own conclusion. Here's a little information about me. My name's Dia Sharma, and I'm a volunteer at Interns for Good. I'm 15 years old, and I live in New York. My favorite things to do are bake, swim, listen to music, and hang out with friends. I hope you enjoyed my lesson on viruses. Thank you.